First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honors, and praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakak, Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone for teaching this truth time and time again, showing us to be men of the Lord, the Wadi Yah, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakak, Wadash. And the brother thought Wong. It's real late, but like, I've been trying to do this lesson, but hell putting forth. The Lord really comes in handy once you pray, doing everything. Just being that annoying, always praying and continuously knocking at the Lord's door for understanding, for everything. I just wanted to do a little lesson, an exhortation of just going, even the small young brother situation I have got. But this is like the scripture that continuous that I put forth. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 39. Wherefore, brother, covet to prophesy, and forbid not to speak with tongues. And this is not a bad thing. And when they say the tongues, but there's not the point, just for edification points. But if you look up tongues is glossa, and you look up the language or dialect used by particular people distinct from other people and nations. But that's not the point. I mean, the covet to prophesy, because prophesying is important, and because you need understanding, you need everything. When you do speak and prophesy, but wanting to be able to do it, wanting to be able to preach the word, to preach and show forth, because it's for the edification of the church. If you go up the chapter, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 4, and he that speak in an unknown tongue edify himself, but he that prophesy edify the church. So prophesy, saying things before in the spirit of the Lord, because no one prophesied, but just normally you have to be caught with the Rakak Wadash. So when I get into this lesson, because we'll have the Lord said, this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom and get understanding, for get it not, neither decline from the word of my mouth. Because don't forget it. To get wisdom and get understanding. There's a time when I first started in this truth that it's like, as you seen, I stuttered. I didn't have it. Like, I know I stutter bad now, but it was bad. Like, it was two brothers. One brother is not here anymore. He's in the spirit world. But they asked me, it's like, and they told me, it's like, not everyone's a prophet. It's like they didn't have it. But what I did is I was seeing like the spiritual signs, and then I was just praying to the Lord. I needed to get more wisdom, to get more understanding. Forsake her not. This is Proverbs 4 and 6. Forsake her not. She shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. So I kept praying. Kept praying and continuously getting better. Keep reading, getting understanding. And because why? Because it was not just for itself, it was just for the health of the kingdom, but also, that's what the Lord said. Covet to prophesy. Covet to prophesy. Be able to teach and edify the church. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Wisdom is, because wisdom, let me grab it. Because knowing once the prophecies and hearing these things, you know it's going to be a bad time. This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and stability shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is a treasure. Is a treasure. So that's the beginning of. Let's get it. Bear with me. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. And the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but the fools despise wisdom and instruction. Wisdom. In the Greek, it would be Sophia, but then Hakama is wisdom, skill in war, skill in administration, shrewdness, wisdom, prudence in religion, wisdom, ethic, a skillful man, wits. Because this is H2451. But it is the beginning. So when you have that fear and you have that thing, knowing of the time before. So we covet to teach our people, because we persuade men, knowing the terror of the Lord and knowing that we persuade men. So back into Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Is the most important thing. Therefore, get wisdom. With all thy getting, get understanding. Understanding. Let's look at that word. Understanding. Discernment. Act. Facility. Object. Personification. To understand. To know. So we rather want and seek understanding, because this is Ephesians chapter 4, verse, start at 12. No, actually, I'm going to start at 5. Yeah, start all the way up. This is Ephesians chapter 4, 1. Yeah, I'm going to just go up. This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 7. But unto everyone that us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Yahweh by Shemel Shai. You know, that one is seeking spiritual gifts. That's why the covet, the prophesy, the covet. And you know, the covet for to be able to share knowledge with our people, to be able to teach, to be able to do something for our Lord. And you know, the spirits of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. And the Lord shows you the signs and he'll do it, but he also wants you to want it. He wants you to want that and wants you to do that. So this is wherefore he said, when he ascend up on high, and he lead captivity and captives captive, and give gifts unto man, now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descend first to the lower parts of the earth? It's talking about Yahushua, showing us how to be and what will the example of what we need to be in this truth. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and some teachers for the perfecting of the saints. The perfect and help, perfecting of the saints for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, till we all come into the unity of faith, of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, and onto the measures of statutes of the fulfillment of a Mashiach. So for the perfecting of the saints, he gave everyone a job and have it. And the Lord will show you the signs, and depending that what you need to be. And sometimes he'll put you in situations. That's why a man without chastisement, Hebrews 12, they're bastards, but the Lord chastises the ones he loves. So the ones he's going to make you catch hell. He's going to make you go in situations, give you dreams, give you things, because he wants you to know better. He knows, and he knows what gift he gave you. So if you don't want it, and you're not going to seek that understanding, and you're not going to want to prophesy. But when you have that and you know that the Lord is calling you for a calling, you're going to want it. And so you're going to start correcting it. That's how some brothers grow faster than the others. But you got to continuously seek it. You got to want it more. You want to continuously get these scriptures, these breakdowns. They continue to put forth faith. They continue because he gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors for the perfecting of the saints, for all that stuff. And so you want to do, you want to be able to do your job the best you can, the best you would, because that's how the Lord put forth. You know what I mean? Because wisdom is strange. It's like you want to want it, and then when you want it, and you're gonna fail. But that's how it is, because the ones that are most successful, they say in like war, they don't trust that squeaky clean guy that always right, always are in between, that never messes up, because he doesn't really want it. He's just being neutral. He's just playing the middle game. He's in the middle, but he's not truly showing that he really that he's able to take the consequences of it, of him being wrong. He's not able to show that he's ready to sacrifice or look foolish for it. So that's why the wisdom does this. That's why the Lord chastises. That's why he wants us to want it. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 17. For at first she will, also called Sirach, for at first she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him. He's going to come. You're going to catch hell. You're going to do this thing. You're going to be getting a lot of cancels. You're going to be wrong. You're going to get in these situations of these people, because it's going to be, when people see your potential, they're going to be jealous. When people see that you're not filling up for your potential, they're going to curse you out, or you're going to go in and be put in situations all for that's why the Lord put the Spirit on Paul and said, suffer all things for the elect's sake, because wisdom is, first, when she walked with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him and torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul. Because you're going to fail in this truth. You're going to look at how many times the apostles, back in the time of Yahushua, was rebuking. He said, ye of understanding, the Lord is going to chastise you. You look stupid in front of him. Peter, the head disciple, the head of the church, Peter, which is King David in the spirit, he he was following the spirit, but he denied Yahushua 3 times, thrice, and he failed to answer questions. He didn't know anything, but he was getting tried. He was going in all these situations into the perfecting of the saints. By the time that when Yahushua passed, he was able to build up the church after, help build up the church after, until his execution. Then with Paul and with all these, they all had to do. And then the ones that had the worst situations, as Paul, he failed a lot. He was persecuting the church. Let me grab that. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Let me start up. Verse 9. For I am the least of apostles, that I am meant to be called a apostle because I persecuted the church. He said the least of apostles because the 12, these mighty men, and then look at Paul. He was murdering these people. You see, the ones that screwed up the most, they had something to prove because once he showed his faith and seen that Yahweh Shai and got the sign and got that persecution, he showed his face that man, he had to work harder. He had to work harder because he messed up and he believed and he wanted to put forth that he really believed. So this is verse 10. But by the grace of God I am what I am, and grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain. It was not in vain because he was gonna. So what did he fail? So what that he did certain things? He's gonna work harder. So what? Some people, even there might be brethren, so-called brethren, because a lot of them, especially the ones like they'll give just wicked counsel. That's basically what they'll do, and they're just playing this in between. But they're not. But you're not, because they're not getting in trouble. They're not getting. But once they do, how are they gonna react? Are they gonna work harder and figure out the mistakes? Because we go back is the parable, because it doesn't matter. Like, oh, you see, I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this. The parable of the two sons. Sorry, it's late, and I had 1 and 2 lessons, but I got to talk, and then I was talking to someone, and just time get down a little. It's just, when you work late, it's just, sometimes time just goes by. This is Matthew chapter 21, verse 28. But what think ye? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, Son, go work day in my vineyard. And he answered and he said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. That's what it is. So just as sometimes in a fight, sometimes you just need more understanding. Sometimes you just need that kick in the butt, and that's why the Lord chastises. That's why we catch these hells and we get these judgments, and sometimes we mess up. Even David, king, sought a beloved the Most High, sought after the Lord's heart. He failed. He failed when it comes. He wasn't perfect. But in reality, he never fell, and he got the sure mercies of David, and he ended up in doing what the Lord and pleased the Lord. And he came to the second and said likewise, and he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Whether the twine did, which of the twine did the will of the Father? They said unto him, the first. And Yahushua said, Verily I say unto you, that the publics and the harlots go into the kingdom before you. All these squeaky T images and doing all that stuff. It doesn't matter, because are you really? You might fail, you might argue, but are you actually doing it? That's what it is. And as Paul, he said back in the verse 10, but by the grace of God I am what I am, and his grace was bestowed upon me was not in vain. But I labor more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of God which was in me. So that's what it is. The ones that are willing to seek that understanding, to covet the prophesy, the thing that you failed, and you can push forth and continue to do what is need to be done, that you have, and show the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the faith and the walk of Yahweh Shai, because he's going to do, and you're going to get, how much help the Lord. I have been personally fucked up by the Lord so many times and failed a lot of times I know what I have did in the world and what that I covet for. And I've even been told that, yeah, I don't even have it, that I'm not a prophet, that I'm not, maybe I just need to do something else. My people are like, they were brothers, but it didn't matter. What it made me push forward harder. It made me not care. And it made me see, like, it's some people that it might seem that, but they're not showing the action. They're not working and they're not doing this. So it doesn't matter. It's what the Lord has. The Lord. Because we have teachers and all that stuff, but what did Paul? The Lord gives the. I'm going to end off with this. This is 1 Corinthians chapter. Let's start at 4. I'm sorry, 3. For ye yet carnal, for whereas they among you envy and strive division, are ye not carnal and walk as a man? For while one said, I am Paul, and another, I am Apollos. And these were men, they were trying to think, they were saying they were like certain Greek gods and stuff, because the miracles and how mighty they were in the spirit, are yet not carnal. So he said, Paul said, yeah, they're still men. Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom ye believe, even as the Lord gave to every man? I planted, Apollos watered, but God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, through His Son Yahushai, God's the one who's closely watching us, because He's the shepherd, gives the increase. So with that, so neither is he that planted anything, neither that he watered, but God giveth the increase. So with that, I want to give all glory, honors, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash, the water Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash, and Shalom, Shalom, double honors to the apostles and elders. A great millstone.